In the stillness of the village bathed by the full moon, Ilara's silver crescent birthmark softly glowed, its light pulsing gently with the lunar glow. Her piercing green eyes reflected the moonlight as she traced the familiar mark on her skin. At 2:45 a.m., Harper's room flickered with the blue glow of a single screen, desperately scanning through static lines of indecipherable code. For weeks, strange signals had burrowed into her radio's frequency, a series of cryptic pulses that no one else seemed to notice. Tonight, armed with her laptop and a hastily brewed coffee, Harper vowed to decode whatever mystery hid in the noise. The pulses formed patterns, eerily resembling a desperate SOS, but distorted beyond easy recognition. Her fingers danced across the keyboard, piecing fragments of signal into tentative words, phrases, and then something alarming. There was a location embedded deep within the code, coordinates near the abandoned lighthouse on the outskirts of town. Something about the message screamed urgency. Harper's heartbeat quickened as she debated whether to tell anyone. Instinct pushed her out the door, the night air biting but thrilling as she cycled toward the lighthouse, the signal growing stronger. The lighthouse stood solemn against the dark sky, its once bright beam shattered and silent. Inside, dusty shadows clung to peeling walls. The source of the signal seemed to be a broken radio transmitter, humming faintly. Suddenly, a sharp noise, a metallic clang echoed behind her. Harper spun, heart pounding, eyes searching the darkness. From the shadows emerged a thin figure, pale and wild-eyed, muttering about being trapped and unheard for years. Harper realized the radio wasn't just a relic. It was a lifeline for someone lost in isolation, sending signals desperate to be found. "You heard me," the stranger whispered, relief flooding his voice as he clutched Harper's hand. Together, they powered up the transmitter fully, sending a clear SOS into the night, summoning the rescue that had eluded him all this time. Sirens wailed in the distance as Harper stayed by his side, watching the first lights of dawn break over the horizon. The mystery signal had been a cry for help, and now, silence was replaced by hope and safety. Back at her desk, Harper smiled. The static finally resolved into a story of survival and human connection. She leaned back as the morning light filled her room, the screen dark now but her heart still racing. Sometimes, she mused aloud, the faintest signal carries the loudest message. Every morning, Emma stopped by the same cafe for her coffee. It was her little ritual, a quiet moment before the day spun out of control. Today, the cafe was unusually busy. She glanced at the counter, hoping for her usual order. A simple black. The alarm was silence itself, until a tiny click echoed through the midnight vault. Mara's gloved fingers danced over the clock's gears, each tick a whispered promise. Almost there. Behind her, the museum slept, unaware that its most prized artifact was seconds from vanishing. She had only one shot to outsmart the new security system, a puzzle wrapped in steel and shadows. Outside, her partner Leo waited, his watch ticking down the minutes until their window slammed shut. Mara's breath steadied, eyes fixed on the delicate mechanism. "Almost, now," she muttered. The vault door's bolts began to retract, inch by careful inch, like the slow exhale of a holed breath. Light flooded the chamber as the door creaked open, revealing the legendary clockwork heart. Its intricate cogs seemed to pulse with a life that rivaled the thief's own heartbeat. Suddenly, a soft beep, the secondary alarm triggered from a hidden pressure plate. Quick as a flicker, Mara snatched the artifact and dove for the shadowed exit. Behind her, footsteps, guards rushing, voices slicing through the quiet night. Leo threw open a side door just in time, pulling Mara through the narrow escape tunnel. They didn't speak. The urgency thrummed louder than any alarm in their veins. Outside, their getaway waited, a sleek motorcycle cloaked in darkness and promise. The engine roared to life, blending with the chase as guards spilled into the streets behind them. Mara checked the clockwork heart. The prize glimmered, safe and whole against the moonlight. As they sped into the night, Leo grinned. "Thought you said this clock was impossible to crack." Mara smirked. "Nothing's impossible when time's on our side." With the city fading behind them, freedom ticked forward, one perfect second at a time. Evelyn Drake arrived at Greystone Manor, her red scarf fluttering in the cold breeze as the silhouette of the clock tower loomed overhead. The air held a chill, mirroring the unease she felt about the recent strange happenings reported here. Beneath the ancient oaks where the sunlight barely touched the forest floor, a silent secret stirred. Ira, a curious girl from the nearby village, ventured deeper than ever before, chasing a melody only she seemed to hear. The whispers grew clearer, weaving through the leaves like a forgotten song of old. She paused, heart fluttering, listening to the voices of the woods. Suddenly, a silver stag stepped into a clearing, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. "Follow me," it seemed to say, its antlers brushing the low-hanging branches. Entranced, Ira moved forward, feeling the forest pulse around her as if alive. The path twisted and turned until it opened onto a glade bathed in ethereal light. At its center, an ancient stone stood, covered in runes that shimmered softly. Ira reached out, her fingers tracing the markings, unlocking memories not her own. Visions of forgotten times flooded her mind, the grove as a sanctuary, guardian of balance between worlds. The stag bowed before her, acknowledging her as the new keeper of the sacred trust. "The voices will guide you," the whispering wind seemed to say, "for the forest speaks to those who listen." Ira understood her purpose: to protect the harmony between the village and the wilds beyond. With the dawn's first light, the stag faded back into the shadows, leaving Ira alone but empowered. Returning home, she carried the grove's blessing deep within her spirit. Sometimes, she told herself, the greatest adventures begin with a whisper. Her village thrived as harmony returned, forests flourishing under new care and respect. And whenever the wind rustled the leaves, Ira heard the grove's gentle song, a promise kept. In the heart of the ancient woods, the whispering continued, undying and eternal.